Hey y'all, so I'm back again with another answering questions video. This question here, these things here that I was asked about or asked to answer was sent to me through email. Okay, and if you do have any questions or anything, it could be more than one. You can send them to my email, or you can DM me on my social media accounts. Any one of them, it don't matter. Or you can leave a comment down below, and you can ask a question, and I'll most likely answer it in the video. Okay, it can be related to any spiritual topics, anything under that, or something in general, something that may tie into spirituality in any way. But I can answer anything except for if it got anything to do with any medical questions or whatever like that, or anything like legal type of questions. Obviously, you would have to go to a professional for that. I don't know why would somebody come to me asking me that type of stuff. Somebody actually did ask me like a medical question before, and I'm like, what are you doing? I can't answer that. But no, as you can see from the title, this video is going to be about age gap relationships in divine unions. And my general take on it, like general take on age gap relationships, they wanted me to talk about that. And but yeah, they was like, age gap relationships in divine union, and does it happen? This specific person, which I will not name, of course, asked me about it because her and a person who she believes to be her divine counterpart does have a significant age gap, and she's been seeing a lot of talk about it, like a lot of opinions about, like, people have opinions about their relationship and stuff like that. And also she's been seeing a lot of talk on the internet about a big huge age gap relationships and stuff like that, and just she's been feeling quite bad about it, which I don't know why she's feeling bad about it. But yeah, she's been feeling quite bad about it, or just been feeling like, I guess what people are saying, like, just upsets her a little bit, because of, like, a lot of people have a problem with it. Now, in this video, I'm going to be specifically talking about, like, when a man is older and a woman is younger, because she is the younger individual in the relationship and the man is older than her, and because that's the one that most occur, I'm guessing. Like, if we look at percentages, I don't know. I'm just going by, that's the one that people have the most issues with. So that's what we're going to be doing, talking about that, okay? I did take down some notes, just for some key points or whatever, and just stuff that I do want to talk about. Now, I'm going to just let y'all know, like, for most stuff, I am in the middle with most stuff, because I'm the type of person who, I like to hear, like, both sides, and I understand both sides of most stuff, not everything. But unless, like, again, I try to hear both sides, I'm somewhere in the middle, because I'm my own person. I don't go with the majority is saying, or whatever the case may be, and I don't go with the group where they just want to be different, just want to have a different opinion, just to feel special, whatever the case may be. You guys know what I'm talking about. But because I got my own mind, I believe in what I believe in. Donnescha is her own person. I was born alone, so I have my own alone opinion and thoughts on things, right? So again, with most things, unless one side is just bigoted or is just like some type of, something that is just not right, period, of course. That's not what I mean, but yeah. I usually lean in a gray area, like in the middle with most topics, which this one I do lean in the middle, especially when we when we get into the general, like when I start talking about like general feelings towards like age gap relationships, okay? I'm somewhere in the middle, and what I say may be a bit controversial or may make some people turn their nose up a little bit, but I really don't care. You always welcome to unsubscribe, or if you just stumble upon my channel, I really don't care how you feel about it. You can leave your opinion down there, but be respectful, what have you, or I will hide you from my channel, aka block you. So all right, so let's get into now that the intro is over with the sermon. wouldn't call it a sermon, but now that the intro is over with, let's get into. First, we're going to talk about the age gap relationships and divine union. You know, they ask, does it happen? Like, is it something that occur often, or does it happen at all? So, many people think that in divine unions that there has to be like some significant difference, just in general, not just with age, but they have to be a significant difference all the time, and it is not the case. Some people in divine unions are the same, like they may be from the same culture or race, or they may be the same age. Some people that are in divine union have the same exact date of birth, you know what I mean, was born in the same year on the same day, just was born at different times. I know a couple like that, but not a couple people, but a specific couple like that. They was born on the same day, in the same year, but they was born at different times. But there doesn't have to always be like a significant difference. Or, you know, the one we're talking about, like they feel like, you know, there has to be a drastic age difference. Now, it does occur, but it's not something that's with every divine union. It doesn't occur often. It just occurs with certain unions, okay? So it does not always have to be like this drastic difference in age and, you know, culture, like I was saying, race, and, you know, somebody on the other side of the world, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? It doesn't always, you know, sometimes you're from the same hometown, you grew up together, or, you know some of the same people. It happens, you know, like that. And other cases where there are, you know, differences in age and race and religion and culture and stuff like that. Not to go off a topic with the whole age thing, but it kind of ties into the whole thing, like asking, does the age difference happen often? Age difference, happen often, and it does not, you know, although it does occur. And ain't nothing wrong with, you know, being with somebody who is, you know, older than you or younger than you in divine union, or in general, as long as, you know, it's legal, and, you know, it wasn't anything that, you know, it wasn't no grooming in it or no anything like that. Nothing wrong with it, as long as it didn't, you know, happen in a way where somebody was groomed again. I'm gonna get more into the whole grooming thing a little later on. All right. But so yeah, it does happen, not all the time, not with every single union. If you are in a union and y'all have a huge age difference, and you feel like that's your divine counterpart, there is the connection, then that may be the thing for you. Or you feel like somebody gonna be older or younger than you, then that may definitely be the case, but it's not with everybody, not all the time, okay? So, you know, how often? Not often, not very often, but it happens. So, now, let me get into the age gaps, relationships in general. Now, like I said, I lean in the middle when it comes to this. Like, I understand both sides, people who would have an issue with it and people who, you know, don't really see an issue in it, okay? I lean more towards the side where there's not really an issue with it, as long as the two parties are willing participants in the relationship, and there wasn't any, of course, grooming or anything occurring in there, anything like that, which, again, I'm about to get into that more so. So, my thing is this here. Like I said, I'm in the middle, okay? I'm going to keep on saying that, because that's just where I'm at. Now, you have one side who always has an issue with it, like, no matter the age, you know, no matter if, okay, so if you have a woman, because like I said, I'm going to use the man being older and the woman being younger, just for the sake of this video. It does happen with women being older and men being younger, but we're going to talk about, you know, the one that, you know what I mean, the one that occurs the most, or, you know, happens the most. Again, I don't know about, you know, percentages or whatever the case may be. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Okay, maybe I should have did my research before I, you know, did this video. I don't know. But anyway, so you got that one side who always has an issue with it, no matter how old the woman is. If she's younger than the man, then they have a problem with it. Okay, so it don't matter if this woman 23, 25, 28, 29, 30, it does not matter. They always have an issue if the man is anywhere, in their 40s or if they're in their 50s or whatever the case may be. And I understand it can be a bit weird. It can be, because me personally, but then again, it's not about me. That's why people got to stop like making stuff about them. Just because you have an issue with it or you see a problem with it or it's something that you wouldn't do, that don't mean that you have the right to like just like slander the man in a relationship, that person who older, because I'm gonna get into that in a minute as well. But again, me personally, I wouldn't do it. Like, I'm 29 years old. I personally wouldn't date somebody who's 21. I wouldn't even date somebody who's 25. But then again, I don't know what I do. But I wouldn't date somebody who's 21 because my little brother 21. Like, why would I date somebody who the same age as my little brother? I don't know. I just think that it's weird in a way. And I think about stuff like, when I was 19 years old, you was 11. Like, what I look like dating you? You just got out of high school like 2 years ago. What it was, like 2 years ago? Like, what I have in common with you? You're a child to me. But then again, that is an adult. That's to me personally. But then I'm not going to project that on somebody else who may be 29 and going with a 21-year-old. I mean, that's on them. At the end of the day, that adult can make their own decision. Like, if somebody is, let's say 25 and their partner is 40, the woman 25, the man 40, and y'all see an issue with that, or not y'all specifically, or people see an issue with that, like, oh, you know what I mean, like, he groomed her and this, that, and the third. You can't just automatically assume that the man groomed her unless you yourself know that person personally. If you know them on a personal level and you witness the grooming, then okay, I understand that. But most of the cases, people don't know these people who they saying this person groomed them. Could they have groomed them? Maybe, possibly. I mean, with age gap relationships, or even like when it's not age gap, even when somebody got more money than the other person, there is a power imbalance, right? There is a power imbalance. Like, I get that, but that's not the case for every relationship. And you cannot make people oftentimes trying to make women children or infants. Like, she old enough to own a car, to have children, like bear children, to own a home, pay bills, pay taxes, or do taxes or whatever, or cook, mess with pots and mess with fire, whatever, adults can do. She old enough to do that, but she's not old enough to make her own decision to say she can date somebody who older than her. And again, I get it. You may be looking at it a way where, again, it's weird to you. So you want to fight against it. Or maybe some people may have been groomed, and maybe they just feel like every person they see in a age different relationship, that the younger participant, like the younger party, is being groomed. And that's projection. That's because you have, you dealt with it. So you have something that is not healed, or that's not going to be the case for everybody. Just like some people assume that somebody is in an abusive relationship when that's not the case. You know what I mean? So you can't just like say, oh, this man is grooming this woman, or, it's like you make her a child, like she can't make her own decisions, right? That's when the issue come in. Like, you can't say women old enough to vote and do this and that. Like, wait. Speaking of that, ain't that what women like for like to be independent and like make, your own decisions without nobody holding your hand, and you don't have to be in the shadow of a person, of a man specifically, or just to have the independence, to have a job and do this and that, make your own decisions, not have other people telling you what to do, not having, a man or just other people in general, or you just being a woman, just go by with your, how it was like way back in the day, how, it's like the young ladies, women, like they were sent off to, you with your parents, you were sent off to, you have to marry this specific person because, your father sending you off, your mother and father sending you off to marry this specific person. And arranged marriages, I know they still occur, but you know what I mean? Like, it's like women couldn't make their own decisions. So now you saying she can't make her own decision? Like, you like taking many steps back. If y'all understand what I'm saying, hopefully I'm making sense, right? She can't Okay, she's old enough. No offense to people. If you a sex worker, more power to you. I don't care. It's a fucking job. Do what you do, right? But she ain't old enough. I mean, she old enough to sell sex or show her body off to grown ass men, no matter what age. And she 23 years old, she 25, she 24, whatever the case may be. But she not old enough to date older guys. Like, that's not making sense to me. The math is not mathing. Ain't that what they say? Right? Nothing is adding up. And again, I get it. I get it. There could be a power imbalance, right? But, or it could be grooming. But again, you wouldn't know that unless you know them people personally. Every age gap relationship is not grooming all the time. You automatically think somebody was groomed. I get it. Grooming happens. I get it. And people can use their power over the other person. I get it. That even happens when there is no age gap difference. Like when somebody working and the other person not working, they can use the fact that they work and they use that power. They have more power than the other person because the other person not working, right? That's the imbalance. That a balance occur. But just because one person working and the other person not, that don't mean they always have a power imbalance. They may be an agreement. Like people have the whole debate on the stay-at-home mom or, and the man working and then they, you know what I mean? Like that. Or vice versa, right? They automatically assume that because the woman is a stay-at-home mom, that he come home and he ain't doing nothing. Or, you know what I mean? Just like he ain't doing that, he working. He come home and she still gotta clean the entire house like she ain't got no freedom or nothing like that. And that's not the case, right? That's basically the same thing, like almost, you know what I mean? Like people just projecting away or because they saw something or because it looks like this when you don't know these people. And we in the age of the internet. So I'm speaking from that perspective. Like people see stuff on the internet, on social media, people sharing their lives or people, with their partners, and you see that. You just see the surface. Again, things could be occurring behind the scenes, but that's not with every relationship, right? That's not all the time, right? Or because something looks this way or it looks that way, you just taking a 10-second clip or however long these little clips be, 60 seconds, or like, how people do shorts, or, you're on your TikTok and you're on your, it seems like every social media sites have like short videos and stuff. Now they just take like seconds of somebody's life and just put together this fictitious story. Like you got all this from what? And they do it to people that be in the public eye too. Like you just assume this person, done groom this young lady, or that they weird. Now I get it. If you, for example, using somebody in the public eye, let's say this person in the public eye has a weird history of like, you know what I mean? Like of knowing the person as the person was growing up. Like if you say, okay, this man knew her when she was 13 years old. Now she in her 20s and he in his 50s and they dating. I get that. I understand that. Then that's a little bit questionable. I understand that. There are exceptions. I get it. Right? I get it for stuff like that, right? Then yeah, there's likely some grooming that could have happened in that way, shape, or form. Like in some way, or still weird. Like I could never imagine knowing a child, like me, 29 years old, knowing a 13-year-old, and like I'm old. Years later, I'm in my 40s or whatever. They in they 20s, whatever age they gonna be. They grown, they legal, and dating that person. Hell no. Like I just can't imagine that. So that I could see an issue with that, but that's not the case with all. Like that doesn't happen all the time. Now, just because you see it didn't happen sometimes, that don't mean that that's the case for every single time. And again, it could be stuff happening behind the scenes. Again, you don't know if something negative happening behind the scene or positive. That's why people need to mind their business. That's why I said I lean more towards I don't care, because it's really not my business, and it's not people business what other people got going on. It's not your relationship. You don't have to date the person, so why are you concerned with it? Okay? Unless you legit know, unless this your cousin, your friend, or whatever, this people you know personally, and you know they've been groomed, or you know something fishy going on, you know then yeah, that's different. I'm talking about like in general, because again, we're in the age of the internet, right? Just all the debates surrounding the topic, right? And it's like everybody got an issue with everything, just in general. But let me not steer too much off a topic. Like, it's not your business. Like, why is it you worried about if this 25-year-old girl going with this 40-something-year-old man? Like, that's not your relationship. You don't have to date the man and vice versa. You don't have to date the people. So why are you worried about it? What's the issue with it? Yeah, it's weird. I get it. It comes a point where it does get weird. Like, I would think it's very strange if somebody 19 years old and a person in their 40s, that's when it starts to get more weird. I get it. But at the end of the day, there's nothing illegal happening. That person can make their own decision. Or when you younger, yeah, you dumber. Like, I hate to say that, but when you younger, yeah. Because when I was younger, I made stupid decisions or I did stupid stuff that I look back on and be like, girl, why you did that? Or girl, why you said that? Or girl, why you made that make sense? And but that's not all the time with. They got younger people got more sense than older people. Children be having, like, kids have more sense than the adults sometimes. Or, you would say, oh, that 19-year-old frontal lobe not developed, it don't develop till she 25. Then y'all use that argument when they not 25. But then you still have an issue after they done made 25, or if they 28, 29, the frontal lobe ain't developed now. But you still have an issue with that 28-year-old or that 29-year-old dating somebody in their 40s or their 50s. So what's the excuse you using now? Because some people just project, maybe there's an insecurity or something like that happens, or you just, again, projecting on something you've experienced. Are you jealous or something? And vice versa, not just men, not just women, just men too may be jealous of the older guy. So they slander the young woman in some type of way. Or she just with him for money. Or she just with him to get over on him. He an idiot or whatever, right? And vice versa. Or he just with her because he have a fetish for teenage girls and she look like a teenager or whatever the case may be. And then you have people who have the nerve to call these people pedos. Like, you literally calling people who dating an adult a pedophile. Like, you know what a pedophile is? I don't know if you two gonna allow me to say that. They like kids, like little from. I mean, if we can go to months. Some of them are months, like months, a baby, all the way up to, you know what I mean, like 13, 14, all the way up to that. The ages between that, that's what a pedo likes. Stuff like that, 15, 16 even, sometimes. That would be considered a pedo, like if they dating a 16-year-old, because I know I'm only speaking for what I know and what country I'm from, since I'm from the U.S. I know sometimes the age 17 is legal. They can legally consent at the age of 17. But in other states, it's 18 and older. But yeah, a pedophile likes kids. Most of the time, some of them don't even like teenagers. They like kids, like 12 and under. So how you calling this 40-something-year-old man, this 50-something-year-old man who dating like a 20-something-year-old? He met him when she was in her 20s, a pedo. Like, you can't just, if we start throwing around words, they lose their meaning. Why would you put that on somebody that you don't know? Unless you know that person and you know they're a pedo, then that's something different. But you can't just call somebody that, or they just chasing after because they have a thing for kids or something like that, or teenagers, so they going with somebody young that's close to who just got out of their teens or something. You can't always assume that. But again, I get it. It heads into the weird territory. If a man willingly goes with a woman because she looks like she's 13 years old or 12 or 16 or something like that, then yeah, that person has something going on with them and they should be investigated in some type of way. But then again, what can you do if they not doing nothing illegal either? Like, if they not literally dating somebody who's 16 and below or 17 and below, whatever the case may be, right? Depends on where you live at and whatever. Now, we talking about, in this time, we talking about people who are legal. Now, we can't get into statutory rape and all that because that's not what I'm talking about. That's different. If somebody, again, if they 16 years old and they can't give consent to some an adult, that's statutory rape. That person needs to be in jail. Because you can manipulate. There is a form of manipulation there too. That's grooming. That would be considered grooming or whatever the case may be. That falls under that. That's rape, statutory rape, right? I gotta watch what I say on here because I don't know what YouTube gonna do. But you guys get what I'm saying, right? At the end of the day, like, what people do in those age gap relationships, that's not your business. That's not your relationship. You don't have to date the person. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say, right? So, hey, I might take a double look and be like, damn, she with that old ass man, or oh, damn, he with that, old ass woman, whatever. I don't want to be ageist or whatever. I'm not ageist or whatever. You know what I mean? But I might double look and be like, okay, that's on them. As long as both of them consenting to it, as long as both of them legal, then they ain't got nothing to do with me, right? People always worried about the wrong thing. What that got to do with you? Right? What they got to do with you? Can you make rent next month? Are you going to be able to pay your rent? That's where your focus need to be at. You, go get your blood work done. Something might be going on with you inside. Right? But you worried about who dating who and who older than who. And what's going on. Just being other people's business. They got them people who constantly in other people's business. It's not your business. You got stuff in your life that's all screwed up. But you worried about her dating this 40-something-year-old man and she a legal adult? That's not your business. Worry about yourself. We have, let me see here. Yeah, like I said, you're making these women like infants. Like, I would be offended. Like, as a woman, you should be offended by that. Because they make you seem like you can't make your own decision. It's making it seem like you are a child. Like, you need somebody to hold your hand and make your decisions for you. Like, that don't make no sense. Right? You should be offended. You should think that don't make no sense. And like I said, I get it. It's weird, it's strange. But you don't know the older individual intentions, right? Whether it's older individual, a woman or a man. But like, I'm just speaking from, because this woman who messaged me, she a straight woman, right? It can happen in gay relationships or whatever, in any type of relationships, as well as it can happen with a woman and a young man. When a woman older and it's a young man, but I'm just speaking by the person. If it was somebody who was gay who sent it to me, then I would have did it from that perspective, okay? But you get what I mean. Now, let's get into the hypocrisy. Now, oftentimes, I'm finna bring in the woman, when a woman older and a man is younger. Now, again, the man being older is more, it happens more, right? Again, I don't know about percentages and nothing like that. Please correct me if you know. I might need to, I should have did my research before I did this video, but I just feel like it may happen more. At least that's the one people talk about, have issues with the most. Now, the hypocrisy, like when they see an older woman dating a younger man, they be like, yeah, get into it or whatever the case may be, do your thing, right? And then, like, if people, like, talk about that, now they have people who keep the same energy, because some people don't keep the same energy when it comes to stuff. People have a lot to say when a man older and the woman younger, then they don't see no issue when a woman older and the man younger, right? You can blame. I mean, you can blame patriarchy for that. You can blame it. You can blame that on that. But at the end of the day, like, I'm talking about people who don't keep the same energy. All right. So you have an issue with the man being older than the woman being younger, but you don't have the issue with the woman being older than the man being younger. You don't see no issue with that. And then you want to turn around and say, well, y'all don't never say nothing when the man older and the woman younger. And yes, people do. People always got something to say. When the man older and the woman younger, we see it all the time. People always got something to say. It's that these people on this side, y'all don't keep the same energy because you don't see no problem with it. Right? You don't see an issue with that, but you see an issue with that, right? With the other one. You don't see no issue with that. You got to keep the same energy. Now, I'm not saying people who complain about the man being older and the woman being younger don't see an issue when the woman being older and the man being younger. I'm not saying they have people who keep the same energy again. But then they have people who don't keep the same energy. Like, that's what I was talking about. then you want to turn around and try to bring up, just to try to like avoid that you don't see an issue with this one. So you try to bring up the man being older and the woman being younger, and that other people don't see an issue with that. Girl or boy, with whomever, no. Who you think you fooling? So you either keep the same energy or hush your mouth, period. You always try to make women babies and stuff like that. We're not babies. And I'm talking about women. Only people, babies and girls, are young girls and babies. Children. Right? So yeah, I have an issue with that. You can't sit up here and tell me, if I'm somebody who's going with somebody older, you can't sit up here and tell me that I'm being groomed, or like I'm not old enough to make my own decision, that I can't date this man, or that, there's a problem here or something like that. Right? If I'm 29 years old and I want to date somebody 65 years old, then that's on me. Would I do it? No, but I'm just saying. I would be offended if somebody be like, well, this, that, and the third, or have something to say. That's my decision. Like, at the end of the day, that's my decision. This is not your relationship. It's mine, right? Mine's with an S. So again, it's not my business. My final thoughts is going back to, does age gap relationships happen in spiritual unions? Yeah, they happen. Not often. Not every spiritual union got to have some drastic difference. It does not happen all the time. Okay, but it does happen. And my thing to say to her, since she was upset, like, don't let that upset you. What people got to say, that's your relationship. You can go with whomever you want to date, as long as it's both of y'all legal. Like, are you both participating? Like, is y'all both accept each other, or y'all both two participating parties in it, and nobody forcing nobody to do nothing. As long as nobody wasn't groomed, then it's fine, right? Because people always got something to say about what other people got going on. Y'all, people always got something to say. But but your life in shambles, though. You ain't even got enough money to pay your light bill next month. What you need to be trying to figure out is how you going to keep your lights on. What you need to do is drink water. What you need to do is stop drinking alcohol every day. You know what I mean? Take care of your body, your temple. Worry about yourself. Yeah. Pressure probably sky high and you don't even know it. Sugar levels probably bad. You probably diabetic and you don't even know it. Or you might be pre-diabetic. Who knows, right? I know somebody who was always in other people's business, but they had health issues. You ended up having a stroke. But you was in other people's business. You need to be worried about is your health and what's going on with you, and not about what other people, who dating who, or who doing what. Or you always begging for money or something, like you finna beg somebody for money, but you worry about what's going on in somebody else's relationship. People out here having all these unprotected sex. You don't even know if you got an STD or not. And again, I'm not trying to shame people or nothing like that, but it's the truth. People always worry about what other people doing when you need to be worried about yourself. Period. And that goes for everybody when it comes to anything. Don't worry about what this person doing. Why you worried about if this man or this woman in the public eye, if they dating somebody younger? What that got to do with you? As long as the person participating is a participating party and things are legal, they could date whoever the hell they want to date. You know what I mean? Like, that's not your business. You worry about people who not even in your tax bracket, in their relationships. That's not even your tax bracket. So what you worried about that for? Right? The only way, like I said, where you could be worried about it is if you know these people personally and you know some grooming is going on, or if you literally the specialist in being able to tell if something is grooming, or this person has some type of weird behaviors or whatever when it comes to like that, or you know that person history, like they have some funny history and you side-eyed, and okay, I understand that. But there's been age gap relationships for centuries. What can you do about it? As long as nobody, no child in it. If this person who young, you feel like they making a stupid decision, then and they wasting their youth or whatever, let them find out on their own. That's not for you to sit up here debate and talk about somebody else's life. That ain't got nothing to do with you. Trying to convince this person, they ain't got nothing to do with you. They literally had somebody trying to tell somebody that they being groomed, and they telling you, this person telling you, I ain't being groomed. I ain't meet them until I was this age. They ain't forcing me to do nothing. Then if that person telling you that, then that's what they telling you. You can't say, oh, well, she manipulated, so she don't know what she talking about. How you know that? You in her mind? Like, why you arguing about somebody else's life and they telling you? Maybe they possibly lying. Maybe this person is wasting their youth on somebody else. Let them find out on their own. That's the thing. We have to grow and find stuff out on our own. That's how we learn. That's how you learned, ain't it? Right? That's how I learned a lot of stuff. I had to be dumb first to find out later. Now I know not to make that mistake again. Now I know that, you know what I mean? Just in general with stuff. So let them be young and dumb. If that's what you think it is, let them be young and dumb then. But it's not up to you. You're not that person's mama. You're not their daddy to be trying to hold their hand, telling them what's happening to them. Or you're not the authorities. Because if you go to a police station or whatever the case may be, you trying to say, oh, you trying to turn somebody in and somebody 25, the other person 40, them people going to laugh at your ass. Because nothing illegally happening. Right? They're going to laugh at you. Because that person is an adult. It don't matter about no damn frontal lobe being developed. If they legal, then that is nothing illegal happening. Right? So go ahead on and try to turn this into the police again. Or try to turn it into some type of authority. Again, you're going to be laughed out of the building. You know what I mean? So that's my final thoughts. At the end of the day, I don't give a shit about them. I'm going to be real with you. I don't care. Again, sometimes I can question stuff, or look at stuff sideways. I'll be like, okay, if I know this person's history, then I'll be like, all right, what's going on here? But other than that, if I see that, again, you might take a double take. But as long as that person, what can I do? You know, is the person legal? Me personally, and again, that's what people do. They say, me personally, what you would personally do. Me personally, I wouldn't do it. But again, this not about me, right? So apply that to yourself. That's not about you. It ain't about what you gonna do. Because that's not your relationship. That's not your relationship. Okay? Right? So that's my final thoughts. That's how I feel about it. Hopefully that answers the person's question. Like, does it happen? And like my general take. Because again, this person feel bad. Like, I understand, like, this person feel, y'all literally got people feeling bad or like guilty about the person that they dating, or like they feel like they gotta hide their relationship. They ain't gotta hide shit. Cause what other people saying. People always got an opinion on something all the time when they need to be minding their business, right? Do you even have a roof over your head to, like, no shade or nothing like that. I'm not trying to talk about unhoused people or homeless people. I'm just saying, like, are you going to have a roof over your head next month, right? Because you 2 months behind on rent. I'm just saying, right? They finna come take your house, or you finna get put out of your apartment building. Can you pay your car note? Are you gonna be able to pay when your car break down? You gonna be able to have the money to pay to get it fixed? Like, that's what your concern. That's what people concern need to be at. Or what's going on in your own household? You got all this funky shit happening in your own life. You always in other people's business. You don't even care. You ain't even worrying about your sister or brother and them. Like, what's going on with them? Have you called to check up on your family? Like, what you worried about with somebody dating? Because you need to go outside. What they like to say, oh, go outside and touch grass, because that's what most people need to do. Go outside and into the real world. Because in reality, people don't care about age gap relationships. They don't. That's just on the internet. A lot of people care about stuff on the internet. And they be these internet activists and stuff like that. And they give a shit about everything. When they close out the damn computer or phone, they go and they don't give a shit about nothing. And that when it comes to anything. But again, that's all I have to say, because I'm going all off topic. If you have any questions, you can send me an email. I do prefer y'all emailing me questions and stuff like that. But you can DM me a question or whatever about anything. I mean, maybe it can tie into spirituality, or I mostly prefer topics about spirituality. But if not, if you want me to tie a certain topic into spirituality, or if it can fall under that, then I can do the best that I can, like this. And yeah, you can leave it in the comment section as well. Until next time, y'all. See you in another one. Bye bye.